Jerry Sandusky is one of the most hated men in America. People call the former Penn State coach a pervert, a predator, a pedophile. Convicted of sexually abusing 10 boys. But as you are about to learn, the disgusting allegations from the Sandusky case are far from over. In an emotional and powerful interview, a new accuser comes forward with explosive claims and tells Crime Watch Daily how Jerry Sandusky took his innocence, ruined his life forever, and set him on a path that would lead him to prison.
Do you remember the first time you met Jerry Sandusky?
The memories of that day are still raw for 43-year-old Anthony Spinelli. He claims when he was just 16 years old, Sandusky molested him in the showers on the Penn State campus.
I remember him sensing that I was uncomfortable, and I was completely like, I wasn't the same, like something was wrong. I was like stuck or awestruck by just what had dumbfounded.
It was 1988. Anthony, number 12, was one of the nation's top high school quarterbacks. In his hometown of Leominster, Massachusetts, outside Boston, Anthony had it all. A good home, good grades. He was on the honor roll and class president. Anthony was recruited by such prestigious universities as Michigan, Syracuse, and Penn State. But his dream was to play for the Nittany Lions and the legendary Joe Paterno. Penn State invited Anthony to attend a tryout at their summer football camp. The man who took him under his twisted wing, defensive coach Jerry Sandusky.
I had met Jerry, who had come over to me when we had got there, as far as just give me a little heads up that he'll be following my progress through camp.
And in that short period of this camp, it forever changed your life.
Prosecutors say Sandusky turned football camp into his own personal victim factory.
And I know this is going to be hard, but can you tell me what happened, how you became a victim of Jerry Sandusky?
I had a slight groin injury. He had asked me if I would drop my, I had a pair of shorts on with a pair of spandex underneath, and to where he could exactly see where the pressure points were, and he had felt up into my groin area. It's like an icy hot Bengay atomic bomb. He had asked me if I minded if he had applied some to me. I didn't know what to think. My whole body just shut down.
But Anthony says Sandusky wasn't done with him yet. The next day at practice, the bomb was burning him.
As I was showering, he had come in to shower, and this is how the second incident had happened.
So he just took his clothes off and joined you in the shower?
Basically. And so here I was now, butt naked in a shower. He basically started to massage my groin area. He performed oral sex.
Anthony says he was so freaked out by one of his idols abusing him, he got wasted on bourbon. He was afraid Sandusky would tell his devout Catholic parents, and they would blame him.
I kept replaying back in my head my parents, what they would have thought or how they would have felt, and the embarrassment I would have brought to them, the shame.
When he returned home after camp, Anthony was a different person, struggling with anguish and doubt.
Did you notice a difference in him?
I noticed a tremendous difference in him.
His coach, John Dobzinski, was worried about his star player.
Before he went to the camp, he was very into school. He was very into being popular. I called him in a couple of times. I said, Anthony, what's going on? You're not quite the same. Something's bothering you? No, I'm fine. His mother and father called me, wanted to sit down and have a meeting.
Did it just break your heart?
It did.
But Anthony was a broken young man. His dream of playing for Penn State vanished with the steam from that hot shower. He says he turned to drugs to numb his pain.
Well, what kind of drugs were you on?
At the beginning, it was the alcohol, the marijuana, the cocaine, the acid, Percocets to heroin. I've done pretty much all of it. I still, to this day, you know what I mean, have struggled with my addiction.
What are some of the ways that people act out? With him, it was violence, it was drugs, it was years and years of addiction.
Anytime that you see radical behavioral changes, an increase in destructive behavior, vandalism, fire setting, getting involved with crime, self-injury, drug and alcohol use, those can all be indicators that there's something significantly wrong that has happened.
In short order, Anthony went from altar boy to armed robber. Then came the fateful night that would send him to prison for much of his adult life. He and a friend were drinking heavily and got into a fight.
He had put his left hand on my girl's arm and he had said she'd spend the night with me, and I pay her very well. And I had hit him, and I hit him hard.
That hard hit tragically killed his friend. Anthony pled guilty to manslaughter and got a sentence of 10 years in prison. Fast forward to 2011. Anthony is in the prison TV room watching news reports of Sandusky's arrest.
All of a sudden you see Jerry Sandusky on the TV. What goes through your mind?
Disgust. I mean, I was sick to my stomach. But the fact of what had taken place with myself and Jerry, that the disgust and the hatred, so to speak, is what I had felt. Meanwhile, I now had to process this in a whole different way.
That's when Anthony decided he had to tell his story to prosecutors. But it wasn't so easy. Anthony's alleged molestation occurred in 1988, and the statute of limitations had run out. Anthony went to court to challenge the statute, and a judge ruled in his favor.
In a weird twist of fate, Jerry Sandusky's position here at Penn State would provide the legal loophole needed for Anthony's case to move forward, all because Sandusky was a public employee.
Because Penn State is a public institution, Jerry Sandusky was then a public employee. And in Pennsylvania, that extends the statute of limitations.
Jerry Sandusky's attorney has said that Jerry doesn't ever remember meeting Anthony Spinelli.
Doesn't shock me. Doesn't surprise me in the slightest. For him to remember every event and every detail, not shocking at all that he wouldn't necessarily remember any particular one. It's just another day in the office for him, so to speak.
The matter is now on the desk of Pennsylvania Attorney General Kathleen Kane. In a letter to Anthony's attorney, Kane says, "We reviewed all the facts of your allegations and found you to be compelling." The iconic university isn't commenting on Anthony's story, saying Penn State has not and will never comment on legal issues related to Jerry Sandusky. If the case goes to trial, Anthony will have to come face to face with the man he's tried to block out of his life.
But what do you want to say to him?
What would I like to say to him? What you did was wrong. You know it was wrong. And even though things happened the way they happened, what you did has put such damage and effects in my life, in my family's life.
The disgraced coach is appealing his sentence of 30 to 60 years in the state prison. But Anthony Spinelli is still locked in the prison of his mind. Memories of what he says happened in that locker room so long ago can never fade.
I wish I could take back to that day that I was 16. So if I could hand back the hands of time, that's what I would want. That's what would make it right. That's not happening.
Anna Garcia is with me now. Anna, I know Sandusky is appealing his convictions. He's always, pretty fervently as well, maintained his innocence here. So the question is, how can these new allegations, Spinelli's allegations, affect his case?
Anthony's case should have absolutely no relevance on Jerry Sandusky's convictions right now. It is a separate case and it's in the hands of the Attorney General right now. But what it could affect is the possibility of more accusers coming forward, because with the judge's ruling, rolling back the statute of limitations, there could be 20 more victims out there.
Thank you so much, Anna. And of course, we will bring you the very latest on this case, all the updates at our website, crimewatchdaily.com.